Tom Trbojevic returns to fullback for Manly now. We've debated this for quite a while now, and I think you guys said last week, that he should be moved back there, and here it is.
Scared me a bit, Tom, the week earlier, just as the conversation started that he should go back to fullback, and then he went down and he started holding that knee again. But look, he was moved back there on the weekend for good reason, and I think if Manly are to be any hope of playing finals this year, Tom Trbojevic is in the one jersey.
Yeah, I agree. Like, he's one of the best fullbacks in the game. Why wouldn't you play him there? He's you're right though. I'm still a little bit concerned about his body. I know he hates it being raised, but I'm more worried about just how Manly are going to show up. There's so much talk about the playing group and their relationship with Anthony Seibold and the rest of the club.
Is that still bubbling?
It is still definitely bubbling around.
Can they fix it in time?
But, well, the thing is,
it's real though,
no,
Gordon.
it is.
Like, there is a genuine feeling at the club. Yeah. I don't think that it's that they're off Seibs. It's that his coaching style doesn't really cut it with a few of them. Like, it's just not their go.
To be honest, the same thing was there last year.
Yeah.
And then they went, I was as stunned as anyone when they went to the second week of the finals, knowing that there'd been, some... You're right, disharmony isn't the word. It just doesn't seem to be fitting
it's to do with his coaching style, but then that becomes a pretty damn big issue, doesn't it? Like, if there is known to be, and it's a reality, that there's senior players within that group, prominent senior players within that group, that aren't exactly enjoying that style of coaching, surely that becomes a problem for Manly management.
And is that a reason why there's a delay on the Trbojevic deal, both of them, Jake and Tom?
My understanding with the Trbojevics is that it's kind of like Jake is at that time in his life where he's thinking, do I want to go beyond the end of next year? I don't think there's any question he wants to stay at Manly. And then I think with Tom, it's probably a similar situation at the moment, but there has to be this underlying feeling, who's going to be the coach?
Yeah, 100%.
Do we know anything about that?
No, they're a hard read, Manly, in terms of where. But Tony Mestrov's a big supporter of Anthony Seibold. He's on the record about it, and they've had so much upheaval this year.
But you got to be on the board of the team. You got to be on the board of the badge.
Yeah. There is. That's right.
That's the decision.
I get it, but I've said on this program before. There's certainly, and it's no secret, this old, the old clique of Manly former players who certainly want some change there, both in the front office and in the coaching department. And that pressure is still there.
So the names that get mentioned from the Manly old boys is Matt Ballin, isn't it? And then there's a bit of mail going around about Willie Peters at the moment. There's a lot of talk about how good a job that he's done over at Hull, and his name gets linked to Manly.
Which is hilarious given the way that he left the club.
Yes, well, that's another story. And then the other guy, again, that started out at Manly was Arthur. But it would depend on which direction they've got to go. But by the sounds of things, so you wouldn't think Seibs is that safe. But is it the right decision? Because the other thing that's getting mentioned is maybe he lasts another year and they bring someone in. Like, if the players aren't really seeing eye to eye with him, do you leave it another year? Do you go through it for another 12 months?
You'd have to move on.
You believe that they have to retain Jake?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, forget about all the super coach.
I do as well.
All the super coach stats out there. Because it just the ethos that he brings to the club. Look at Origin last year. Everyone was bagging the decision from Michael Maguire to make him captain and even pick him, and he was like the backbone of that team. And it doesn't always just come. Look at him there kicking those. That's what you want from. That's what you want from your captain.
Yeah, look,
someone who cares. So good. It shouldn't be. It should be the standard. But that's what you want.
Yeah, but sometimes it's bigger than what they do. I think it's from Monday to embrace and you play with those guys, and because I come through the grades where there was reserve grade, and there was guys that hung around. They just taught you so much. It was just so good when they played, and they were on the other. Just on the other side of the hill, but they're still important to the organisation. He's one of them.
Everyone loves Jake, and I think what you mean there as well is trust.
Absolutely, you trust him.
He provides. You trust him, and,
absolutely.
And you trust as long as he's in the team, everyone's going to be inspired by him and doing the right thing by the team. It's a team first mentality. Now, DCE, we're hearing that when he goes to the Roosters. What are you laughing at?
What is he going to announce it?
When he goes to Roosters.
He's been playing there all year.
When the season's over for both of them, that's when they'll announce it.
Yeah, he's going to be 5'8", and Sam Walker's going to be 7. We've also wondered if this was going to be the case, who would be the general, the 7, and Buzz, I think, is the one that reported this. But
well, Buzz has reported that Sam will be wearing the 7 next year and he will be the halfback of the team. I guess the question I have, though, is that Sam's playing left side, which is traditionally where the 5'8" plays. Cherry Evans has spent his career playing on the right. They've got young Hugo Savala, who is not so young really when you look at his real age. He's 23, right? So it's not like he's some young rookie who's prepared to wait another year to get his shot so they can bring in a 37-year-old. And if he was to do that, in 12 months' time, there's a young bloke called Toby Rodwell, who they have massive raps on, who is a halfback, not a 5'8", which makes me wonder, is Sam's long-term position for the Roosters as a 5'8", not a halfback? You tell me, is that...
Oh, we spoke, like, I think Sam's got a lot of development before he entirely runs a team, you know, with that composure and game management. He's so good, like, off the cuff, and we try assists, he's up there amongst the best of them, and he can do things that others can't. But the question mark is that control, you know, and that's why I thought they'll bring in DC in, but then they're putting DC at 6, so, you know, how's he going to control it from 6 and control the game plan?
They could give him jump of 42.
It doesn't
mate.
matter.
Still
Honestly, I don't think it's a big deal. Like, I think that they'll share roles and one will complement the others. I see them as different, although a lot see them as the same player. I don't. I see them as different. I think for a year, it'll be a good combination. I actually don't mind it. A lot of people are quite pessimistic about it.
If you were Hugo, would you wait another year, waiting in the wings, knowing that Rodwell's in the background?
If it's only 1 year...
but it's not, because Rodwell is then 12 months older.
But he's got the jump on him at the moment because he's showed that he can handle first grade and he's done it really well. So he has first dibs. You know, Rodwell's still got to prove himself. It doesn't matter how good you are, Australian schoolboy. You know, we've seen it before. I think he's got it, Rodwell. But, you know, it's an interesting one. Sandon Smith will move on.
His stocks are higher now than if he gets dropped and a young kid goes past him.
And he'll have no problem going anywhere else too. So he could see the year out and have options, you know, Savala.
Well, he's free to talk to rival clubs come November this year, so it'll be interesting to see if he holds on and goes to market.
I just wonder what's happened, because when this first got floated about Cherry Evans to the Roosters at the start of the year, I remember having this discussion with Roosters types earlier in the year.
Names?
No, I can't. And the line out of the club was Cherry Evans would play 7 and Walker would move to 6. And I know, as you said, it's just a number in a lot of ways, but that's what I got told from some pretty heavy hitters at the Chalks. So I was surprised when Buzz wrote it that it would be the other way around.
You got to keep everyone happy, Webby, you know?
I've
Could
noticed.
be a case of that.
Do you reckon they'd make the same decision now?
Yeah,
Knowing what they know.
Yes. Yeah, I think once Nick said he's coming, there's no way.
I do too.
He was never going to back out of it.
I don't think they can. I don't think they believe they can win a comp next year with the team they got. They think that DCE. My opinion. I think they think with DCE they're more chance of winning a premiership next year.
I reckon that.
It's a funny thing though, because we look at the competition this year and we've spoken about the Storm being a bit streaky, the Broncos being a bit streaky, the Raiders in the last month probably not as impressive as they were previously, Canterbury. Who's to say the Roosters can't make a charge this year?
It's a fair point that you make.